Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. In our journey so far, talking about placements, talking about signs, talking about yogas, doshas, talking about different kinds of denotations, manifestations, connecting D1 chart, D9 chart, the Dashamsa chart, the Chaturtamsha chart and whatnot. We have traversed a fairly long journey so far and we are trying to get deeper and deeper into Vedic astrology. Now, I truly believe that there are a lot of overlaps, and astrology, as we know, has various elements to it. Sometimes people feel that Vedic astrology is the only true astrology. However, if you see the roots of astrology during Babylonian times, even in Sufism, different kinds of planets have been known to have different kinds of energies. In Japan, in Persia, even in Aztec, the Mayan civilization, there are always some narrations of gods associated with different signs, different deities and different energies which are brought into a life through these signs, these deities, and they are supposed to manifest different kinds of results in our life. So there is a lot of overlap between different forms of astrology. However, the Vedic astrology is a very predictive astrology and gives you a very in-depth perspective of different kinds of placements, different kinds of possibilities and different kinds of manifestations. And so I feel that Vedic astrology is one of the most evolved forms of astrology, and that brings to us the best way to be able to look at our life through a very in-depth analysis and a very intimate analysis. So today I am going to talk about a very in-depth analysis about a certain sign which may be the most important sign in your horoscope, but sometimes we don't give it enough importance. And only after we have done a journey so far, almost 2.5 years, close to almost quarter to 3 years of me putting up videos regularly on YouTube, now I'm going to the depths of astrology which we should be able to know, which we should be able to understand as well, rather than just the basic level of what the signs mean and what the houses mean. So today I'm going to talk to you about why the Sagittarius sign is the most important sign in your horoscope. You should look at in which house Sagittarius sign lies, how the Sagittarius sign's ruler Jupiter is playing out different manifestation, what kind of relations it is establishing with other planets by virtue of conjunctions, aspects, yogas or doshas it is establishing itself in, and by virtue of it being placed in other planets' houses, and also by virtue of what are the areas of that house. Through that, there is a very higher signification of getting to know our life's main purpose and in fact a journey or onward journey to the elevation of our spirit, our soul, and maybe even moksha itself. So I want to give you a deeper meaning of the Sagittarius sign, what it means in a horoscope, and how we should look at it as a truly special sign, and we should also lead many facets of our life because of how the Sagittarius sign energies are guiding us through or directing us through a certain path. Now I'll tell you why the Sagittarius sign is a truly special sign. This is not only because of Vedic astrology, because the Sagittarius sign is the 9th sign or the ruler of the natural 9th house of the Kal Purush Kundi, and we know that the 9th house is the house of gurus, the house of dharma, but 9th house is also the biggest house of gains. And because it is the biggest house of gains and connected to our dharma, connected to our prarabdha in a certain way, prarabdha for this life, and so the 6th house from the 9th house becomes the house of the karmic debt, the debt that you need to pay off through our karma, because Sagittarius is the 9th sign and the 10th house from the 9th sign is the 6th house and the sign of Virgo, the sign of service. So the placement of the Sagittarius sign also being the natural ruler of the 9th house of the biggest gains through our dharma, through our responsibility, through our duty itself says a lot of things. However, if you go one step further ahead from science itself, not S-I-G-N-S but S-C-I-N-C-E. Now many of you may not be knowing this, but roughly about 25-30 years back there was this astronomical discovery which was about how there were some radio waves which were detected from these constellation of Sagittarius going towards a certain dense area of a Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way galaxy is the galaxy in which our solar system is. And it was discovered that there are many black holes which are very dense areas of high gravity. Whatever falls into the black hole doesn't come out. However, it was also discovered that the center of every galaxy is a supernormous, huge, the biggest black hole of that galaxy, around which everything revolves and rotates. And the center of the Milky Way galaxy lies in the constellation of Sagittarius, which means our solar system itself, in its revolution in the Milky Way galaxy, is revolving around the Sagittarius constellation. The Sagittarius constellation is the center constellation of the Milky Way galaxy. So in a certain way, our lives are dependent on the supernormous energy which lies in this black hole, which is lying in the center of the Sagittarius constellation. So that's one strong manifestation from science itself, which tells that the Sagittarius sign is the key to our lives, around which even a solar system revolves. Then Sagittarius sign is also the sign of long distance travel, and which means you need to move away from your comfort zone, and you should be ready to learn away from what your traditional learning is. Also, you need to be open to learning. You should also be open to different dharmas, different belief systems. That's why if you look at the Sanatan Dharma, it is the one religion which says any way that you want to reach God, it is okay. You can reach God in any manner, in any way that you want. Every manner is acceptable. And if you see the placement of the Sagittarius sign, the Sagittarius sign is placed the second house from the 8th house. 8th house is one house of moksha, and the earning of the any house is the second house from that. So the earning of moksha will come from the 9th house of higher learning, spiritual learning, and doing your duty, doing your dharma. Then the Sagittarius sign is the 10th house from your 12th house, the other sign or other house of moksha. And by the way, the 12th sign is also ruled by Jupiter, which is the sign of Pisces. And because the 9th house is the 10th house from the 12th house, which means our karma that we do of the 9th house, of serving gurus, of sticking to a faith and belief, and doing a higher duties and learning from higher spiritual experiences. Why have we come into this world? To serve through our experiences that we will live in this life, and through those situational experiences that we'll go through, and through that higher learning will come to us, and we'll be able to serve better. And that is the karma to directly achieve moksha of the 12th house. The third house of moksha is the Cancer sign. How many houses is the Cancer sign away from Sagittarius? 8 houses away. Again a moksha denotation. But how many houses is Sagittarius from Cancer? Sagittarius sign is 6 houses away from the sign of Cancer. Now if you look at the life of Lord Rama, Lord Rama's sign was, or his ascendant was, Cancer sign. And the 6th house from the Cancer sign is the Sagittarius sign. And just before he became the king, who did Lord Rama serve first? And for whom did he give up almost all his life? It was his mother, his stepmother, who stepped in, and she said, I want my own son, my biological son Bharata, to become the king. I want Lord Rama, or Rama for her, to be banished into the jungle. And so the 6th house, an inimical house, but also the house of service. And what is the Karka sign, the Cancer sign? The Karka sign is the sign of also of the 4th house, the house of the mother. So the service that Lord Ram had to do, or the biggest service that he had to do, giving up his kingdom, going into the jungle, from which his journey started to be called as the Maryada Purushottam, is because he started with the service of mother, because Sagittarius sign lies in his 6th house. And if you look at the religion of Islam, for example, in Muslims, the Prophet Muhammad, he has various times narrated that heaven lies in the feet of the mother. If you serve the mother, then only you get heaven or moksha. There is this parable where a companion, or Sahaba as it is called, of the Prophet Muhammad, he asked the Prophet that, who do I serve the most? Who is most important for me to get heaven? So the Prophet Muhammad said, your mother. Then the companion asked, after that who? The Prophet Muhammad again said, your mother. Then he asked him a third time, Who after that? He again said, your mother. Now the companion was very curious. How many times will this mother go on? And then he asked him a fourth time. Who after that? That's when Prophet Muhammad said, your father. Which means your mother is the most important person who you need to serve. And only if you serve the mother, then only you will be able to get heaven. At least in the religion of Islam, serving the mother. And if your mother is happy with you at the time of your death, then there is a high chance that God, Allah will forgive most of your sins and may even give you heaven. If you have done injustice to all, that all may be also rewarded as gains to the other people, so that their way is also made into heaven because of you serving your mother. So mother is the most crucial, most important relationship in the religion of Islam. Then if you look at the Sagittarius sign, the 9th house, which is the 10th house from the Sagittarius sign, the 10th house is also the 6th house, the 6th house of the karmic debt that you are carrying, which means the karmic debt that you need to pay off through your karma is through the dharma that you do of the 9th house, because the 6th house is the 10th house from the 9th house. So if you want to wash away the prarabdha of the total sanchita karma that you're carrying from that one part which is given to this life, that is denoted by the 9th house. If you want to wash that away and if you want to elevate your soul, then you need to do your karma. Your karma, which means the 10th house from the 9th house, which is the 6th house, house of service. Without serving through your dharma, through your faith and belief, you may not be able to complete your prarabdha of this life. Then if you see from mythology, Sagittarius sign symbol, if you look at, the Sagittarius sign symbol is that of a centaur, which means the body of a horse and the head of a human being, and having bows and arrows. And it is also that the Sagittarius sign is the sign of long distance travel, to be able to move much farther, and it also denotes the ether. The state of ether is also said to be which is most prevalent everywhere in space, and if you have to move further or faster, you need to be able to use the matter of ether, which Sagittarius sign denotes because it is ruling the 9th house. That's why Jupiter is said to be the ruler of the ether realm. Then again, how you connect different mythologies. If you look at the religion of Islam, and why I'm talking so much about it, because I see a huge overlap between a number of factors of Hinduism and Islam, the religion which I practice. We have an incident which is noted in the Holy Quran also, that there is this night of Miraj, the night of ascension, which means that in one of the nights of the holy month of Ramadan, Prophet Muhammad was taken on a creature named as Burak. The term Burak means lightning. And if you look at the symbolism of the Burak, it is said that Burak has the body of a horse but the head of a human being, and also has wings to be able to travel fastest. And Burak means lightning, which is the fastest thing in space. The fastest thing ever to be seen as the fastest entity in space is light. Nothing goes faster than light. However, how was this known? Almost 1500 years back, that Burak name was lightning, and light was the fastest means of travel, because this horse Burak travel at the speed of light. Then if you look at the Kalki Purana in Hindu mythology, in the Kalki Purana there is the notion of Kalki avatar, the 10th avatar of Lord Vishnu, who is yet to come to the earth to establish Satyuga. After Kali Yuga, Satyuga, or the best yuga, the best age, will be formed by or established by Vishnu, who will come back as a Kalki avatar. And what is the creature on which Kalki avatar travels? The creature is called the Devadatta. And if you look at the depiction of the Devadatta in pictures, in painting, you will see again a winged horse. So all of this is pointing towards the Sagittarius sign, the sign of dharma, the sign of belief, the sign of duty, the sign of higher learning, learning through experiences, and whatever experiences life is throwing at you, and through those experiences achieving moksha, elevation. And where does Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius, gets exalted? In the sign of Cancer. What is the Cancer sign? The 4th sign in the Kalpurush Kundli. 4th house ruler, and the 4th house denotes not only the mother but also the family, which means you need to be responsible both for your mother and for your family. The 4th house energies, and the 4th house is also the house of your happiness, harmony, peace of mind, tranquility. Then you look at the two Nakshatras in the Sagittarius sign. The two Nakshatras in the Sagittarius sign, the two main Nakshatra is the Mula Nakshatra and the Purvashada Nakshatra. Two Nakshatras which are completely in the Sagittarius sign. The Mula Nakshatra is ruled by Ketu, and which is the first Nakshatra of the zodiac. The first Nakshatra of the zodiac is the Ashwini Nakshatra, again ruled by Ketu. Then, which is the second Nakshatra of the Sagittarius sign? The second Nakshatra of the Sagittarius sign is Purvashada, ruled by Venus. And the number of the Purvashada sign is the 20th number. 20th number is 2 and 0. And the number 2 in numerology is denoted or ruled by the moon. So again, a strong denotation of serving, empathizing, understanding others, nourishing others, supporting others, which the Cancer sign brings, which is ruled by moon. And Purvashada Nakshatra is ruled by Venus. So the two Nakshatras of Sagittarius, Mula and Purvashada. Mula ruled by Ketu, which is the energy of giving up, donating and trying to move up in the spiritual realm. Whereas Venus is the sign of this world, the material world, which means your responsibility is to be both in the material world, do your duties properly, and then to give up, to serve, so that you get your spiritual elevation as well. And if number 20 is ruled by moon, which is the energy which is ruling the number 19, both sun, the soul, and Mars. Mars is the lord of the first sign Aries of the Kalpurush Kundi. That is also the purpose of life. So what is the purpose of life? To serve, to do your duty, to do your dharma, which is all denoted by the Sagittarius sign, which is also the sign ruled by Jupiter, the most beneficial planet in the zodiac. So overall, if you're born in the Sagittarius Lagna, you are truly special, or you have been given a special responsibility. Second, if you have any of these houses, 4th house, 8th house, or the 12th house, having the Sagittarius sign, which means also it is a boon given to you to be able to get moksha through serving in the Sagittarius sign. So, which is the ascendant which you should be born to have Sagittarius sign in the 4th house? That is the sign of Virgo. Which is the ascendant which you should have to be born in the Sagittarius sign having the being in the 8th house? That is to be born in the sign of Taurus. And which is the ascendant you need to be born if you have to have the 12th house sign as Sagittarius? The sign of Capricorn. So Virgo, Taurus and Capricorn signs. In these signs, if you are born as the ascendant, then the 4th, 8th and the 12th houses will respectively become the Sagittarius sign, which is directly connecting you to be able to get moksha itself. Now I was born in the Cancer sign and my 6th house is also Sagittarius. Now whether you call it lucky or whatever, my moon lies in the Sagittarius sign and in the nakshatra of Mula and in the second pada, 2 pada, number 2 is ruled by the moon through numerology. And my moon is placed in the second pada. But if it's in the second pada in the Mula nakshatra in Sagittarius, where does it get into the Navamsa? It gets into the Taurus sign. It gets exalted in the Navamsa, which means through service that a person can do of the 6th house, moon getting exalted in the Navamsa, which means a good opportunity for you to be able to have a crack at your spiritual elevation if you are true to the meaning of the zodiac is giving to you by having your moon in the Sagittarius sign. So any of you, if you have moon in the Sagittarius sign, number 1. Secondly, if you have sun in the Sagittarius sign, 2. Or if you have Ketu in the Sagittarius sign, so the work is cut out for you. You do service, you are true to the energy, then again another opportunity given to you to be able to move towards spiritual elevation. Apart from being born in the Virgo sign, the Taurus sign or the Capricorn sign. Then if you have the Sagittarius sign in the 10th house also, again a good auspicious placement for you. If you have Sagittarius sign in the 10th house, which means you're born in the Pisces ascendant, but which means that your karma has to be about your duty and your belief system, and you need to be true to that energy is given to you. And then Jupiter becomes very, very important. So wherever Sagittarius sign may be in your horoscope, that sign energy ruled by that house denotes where you need to be able to do most service towards, where you need to be true to your soul itself. And from there, where is Jupiter placed? So if, for example, Sagittarius sign is ruling the 5th house, and then Jupiter gets into the 9th house. So you need to combine the energies of the 5th house and the 9th house to be able to do your karma. If your Sagittarius sign is in the 3rd house of communication, advising, guiding, teaching, and then then Jupiter goes into the 11th house. So through your communication, through your higher learning, through your advising, through your ability to share your experiences, you do more for society at large, because your 3rd house and your 11th house are getting connected. To see where your Sagittarius sign is connected to which house, have a special focus towards the denotation of that house and connect it to wherever your Jupiter is lying, because when you connect those two houses, you are connecting it to directly to one of the very important factors to your spiritual elevation itself. So friends, check in your horoscope where the Sagittarius sign lies, which planets are placed in the Sagittarius sign, because they are also a precursor to helping you to elevate your soul itself, because Sagittarius sign is the most important sign in the horoscope, has special energies, has karmic and dharmic energies. And then check where your Jupiter lies, connect those two houses together and serve in that manifestation of that house, serve in the manifestation of that relationship, serve in the manifestation of that beauty. Do more there and expect less materialism from that, because that will be one of the most important factors to help you on your spiritual elevation itself. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. Till some other time with some other video, this is your friend Astrology and Guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.